What scientists found in a forbidden tomb in Egypt shocked the world. Ancient Egyptian artifacts have always captivated historians, academics, and archaeologists. Today, scientists searching the land of the pyramids discover something unique daily. Archaeological research on ancient Egypt spans 3 millennia of written history and prehistory. Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, we will be sharing what scientists found in a forbidden tomb in Egypt that shocked the world. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's begin. Egypt's majesty has long mesmerized archaeologists and historians, whether it be the magnificent pyramids of the Old King or the New Kingdom that arose following military conquests. As a result, a thriving field of study called Egyptology was created, solely devoted to Egypt and its archaeological treasures. The structures, tombs, and objects discovered at archaeological sites covered in hieroglyphs, the majority of which have only recently been deciphered, serve as the primary source of knowledge. The tomb of Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of the dead, was one of these fascinating finds. Egypt has its fair share of legendary legends to embellish it like any other society. Additionally, Osiris is arguably the most well-known of Egypt's mythical deities. Ancient Egyptian artifacts have always captivated historians, academics, and archaeologists. Today, scientists searching the land of the pyramids discover something unique daily. Archaeological research on ancient Egypt spans 3 millennia of written history and prehistory. The conquest of Egypt by Napoleon in 1798 sparked Western interest in ancient Egyptian artifacts. Archaeologists and other academics continue to go to the world's motherland in search of the lost knowledge and artifacts. Egypt is regarded as the master of science, art, culture, architecture, and nearly all other aspects of human knowledge due to its 7,000-year history of civilization and incredibly vast body of knowledge. Because the Nile River sustains one of the oldest continuously existing civilizations in the world and nourishes the desert area, Egypt is also known as the country of the Nile. Ancient Egypt dominated the Mediterranean region's civilization for about 30 centuries. Egypt's majesty has long mesmerized archaeologists and historians, whether it be the magnificent pyramids of the Old King or the New Kingdom that arose following military conquests. As a result, a thriving field of study called Egyptology was created, solely devoted to Egypt and its archaeological treasures. The structures, tombs, and objects discovered at archaeological sites covered in hieroglyphs, the majority of which have only recently been deciphered, serve as the primary source of knowledge. It's also no secret that high-profile Egyptians love to keep their bodies and possessions intact. Therefore, when archaeologists search tombs, they frequently discover mummies and the personal belongings they owned when they were alive. While some things are perplexing and perhaps even weird, others make perfect sense. Archaeologists have recently discovered tombs they had been looking for many years, and the objects found in these are, to put it mildly, groundbreaking. The tomb of Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of the dead, was one of these fascinating finds. Egypt has its fair share of legendary legends to embellish it like any other society. Additionally, Osiris is arguably the most well-known of Egypt's mythical deities. He was the king of the underworld and the god of the dead in ancient Egypt. Osiris is the subject of several complicated and varying myths. He was the immortality god. He once judged the dead. Some saw him as a representation of renewal and rebirth, while others saw him as a magnificence of life represented by growing fields and lush flooding in the Nile. His tomb was discovered at the El Gore and Necropolis at Luxor on the west bank of the Nile. The unusual architecture of the grave, according to the Spanish and Italian team of Egyptologists who discovered it, is thought to have been in use between 760 and 525 BCE. The creepy black-end tomb is considered a symbolic grave and was utilized in rituals to link the Pharaohs' power to that of the old god. From the pillowed passage, a staircase descends through the bedrock. This leads to a vaulted ceiling with the Osiris statue situated there. Osiris is shown to have greenish skin, mummified legs, and a beard. He is depicted clutching a crook and a flail while donning an ostrich-feathered pointed crown. The most significant part of the tomb was isolated and guarded by Pharaohs and wealthy ancient Egyptians who believed that if they performed assimilation ceremonies with Osiris, they may rise from the dead with him and inherit eternal life. The eldest son of Earth is the corridor that surrounds the monument. A burial chamber embellished with reliefs of demons and gods holding blades is on the west side of the tomb passageway. According to experts, they watch over the tomb's inhabitants. They also observed Osiris's symbolism spread throughout the structure. a staircase to the underworld, a statue on its island, and a river-like empty passage. On the west side of the figure, there is a room with a 7-meter deep tunnel connected to 2 vacant rooms and 2 additional rooms packed with rubbish. Deep inside the tomb, just in front of the statue of Osiris, is another staircase. The specialists believe that this shaft, which descends 9 meters, is the deepest portion of the funerary post. It then leads to a room with another stake, several intruding items in these numerous chambers linked to the shaft. The central vaulted chapel has a stitching emerald-skinned deity facing a staircase. The tomb is nothing less than a sophisticated maze, and only more excavations will be able to uncover everything that is concealed within the hidden rooms. Ancient Egyptians were known to be very interested in keeping their bodies intact, but archaeologists found something frightening over a century ago. Additionally, they preserved and mummified fetuses. A little casket discovered by British archaeologists in Giza around 100 years ago was housed in a Cambridge museum. Nobody gave it much thought because they thought the little bundle inside was just a collection of dissected internal organs. Recent CT scans, however, showed that the remnants were indeed fetus-related. A while earlier, 2 somewhat older mummified fetuses were also found in a tomb, but were considerably older. These separate coffins containing these fetuses, which ranged in age from 25 to 37 weeks, were discovered in King Tutankhamun's tomb. They were found in the Luxor tomb in 1922. Before the twins were found, the king and experts suspected that these might be Tutankhamun's stillborn children. There was no proof that the king, who passed away more than 3,000 years ago, had any descendants. The fetuses' DNA was collected for analysis to determine whether or not they were genuinely linked to Tutankhamun. The eccentric Egyptians didn't just bury their dead and valuables in their tombs. Some even sailed to the afterlife in their ships. Kamala el-Malaka discovered a fully undamaged, full-size solar barrack from ancient Egypt in 1954. The ship was imprisoned in a pit at the base of Khufu's enormous pyramid, which ruled Egypt during the 4th dynasty, the old kingdom of the ancient Egyptians. This ship was part of the grave goods intended for use in the afterlife, just like most other buried ships discovered in Egypt. It is a member of the class of vessels known as a solar barge. The ship does exhibit indications that it was used in the sea. According to experts, the king's embalmed body may have been transported from Memphis to Giza via this barge. It's also possible that Khufu utilized it as a ship for pilgrimages to sacred locations. On the ship, there were no bodies to be found. More than 18,000 ostriches have been discovered by archaeologists working on the ancient Egyptian city of Athribus. Ostrich refers to inscribed earthenware fragments that were essentially used as notepads in the past. These bits gave us a more in-depth understanding of the city's daily existence 20 years ago. Various details including shopping lists, trade records, and even schoolwork are engraved on these shards. Ostrich was considered a less expensive alternative to papyrus in ancient Egypt. The users would dip a reed or a hollow stick in ink to write on these shards. The team from the University of Tübingen that led to the excavation in collaboration with the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities revealed in a statement that pictorial ostrich depicting animals like scorpions and swallows were also discovered there. However, the majority of the ostrich unearthed in Athribus contained writing. Some also had images of people, geometric shapes, and other gods. These pottery shards have a lot of connections to the old school. More than 100 have the same writing on the front and back. The team has concluded that youngsters misbehaved were probably made to type outlines. It turns out that ancient Egyptians and modern humans weren't all that dissimilar regarding raising children. According to the Egyptologist Christine Leitz, the ostrich had lists of months, numbers, arithmetic puzzles, grammatical drills, and a bird alphabet. Approximately 80% of them are written in Demotic, an administrative script used during Ptolemy's VII's rule. The second most often used language is Greek. On some shards, however, hieroglyphics, Arabic, Coptic, and Egyptian writing were also present. The diversity of tongues demonstrated that Tarbes was once a multicultural metropolis. When the tobacco archaeologists started their excavations 120 kilometers north of Luxor, they anticipated finding the enormous temple that Ptolemy had erected in honor of the lion goddess Repetit and her companion Min. Instead, to the west of their main dig site, they discovered the ostrich close to a complex of multi-story structures with vaults and staircases. Archaeologists and historians have hailed the finding of this 180 ostrich as being extremely significant and intriguing, because it sheds information on the economy and trade of the thriving city of Astrobus throughout history. That is all for this video. Don't forget to like and share this video. We'll be back soon with another informative video. Until then, see you soon.